This never gets old. I love this every single time. Look at it. Ooh, every time. I really do just sit and enjoy this. Every time. Get out the way, mouse. Oh, just something about him coming out the dock. Well, let's talk about scrapping and efficiencies. Should you still be doing these? Let's go.
Fancy intro music, yeah! Woohoo!
All right, everybody, let's start talking about ship scrapping with the scrapyard. 3-star ships going to 4-star. What's the most efficient? What's the best way to get the best bang for my internet pixel bucks? Well, we're going to talk about that today. Now, for those that don't know, the scrapyard is unlocked at level 20, but you really don't care about anything in it till level 34. I mean, you can use it, and you do want to, I say that, you do want to scrap envoys, talas, tourists, etc. in the 20s to help, jumpstart that 3-star economy. But when it really feels its value is when you get it in the 3-star economy, scrapping into 4-star. That's where we really start talking about it getting very, very nice, which is why you see me opening up that Mayflower and well, about to scrap it. That's actually what I'm going to do now. I'm going to scrap it. Remember, Rev has one rule. Actually, I have several rules. Consider it like Rev's row. One of Rev's row is always be scrapping. ABS. You definitely want to be doing that in this game. It's going to help you get what you need. So I've got a Mayflower in use here. So we need to unuse that Mayflower. We need to take that Mayflower down and let's scrap it. Let's put the Enterprise there. And then we're going to scrap it and take a look at the returns that we're going to get. And yeah, we're going to get pretty penny. Oh, I also got a Centurion. We'll talk about scrapping that here in a second. So scrapping this is going to return me set, explore parts, the uncommons, the beautiful, beautiful rares. All of this is needed, by the way. I need every single one of these, but particular, definitely need the uncommons. That's kind of a big thing for me. And then here's the amount of time for scrapping. And before anybody turns this into a video asking, hey, Rev, can you ask the dev to provide speed ups for this? Like, it'd be great if we could speed this up. In fact, like the video if you want speed ups for your scrapping. Well, guess what? That ain't happening. So like the video anyway. You're not going to do that. There's a reason for it. I can go at the end of the video if you really want to. So now we're scrapping a Mayflower. What does that mean? And am I truly getting the best bang for my buck? Is my value still really there? So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you an image. You ready? Shield your eyes, little ones. It's math time. Bam. Now this spreadsheet, and I know Rev hates spreadsheets. I do. I talk negative on spreadsheets all the time. And yet here I am, the creator of one that now everybody will be using. Ashamed of myself. So sorry, mama. Sorry. Anyway, what we're going to do is take a look at this. And what I've done with this is worked with another of our players, John Conner, to go over what is the best thing to scrap, what is an efficient to scrap, what than the other, and just what overall is best. So as you can see, there are 4 different tiers here and categories. This is going with the level 26 ships, 28s, 32s, and 34s. I'm only focusing on 3-star scrapping, the 4-star scrapping. Now what you're going to see in this is, well, some things are better at certain tiers and levels than others. Now, for anybody that's about to ask, because this seems to happen all the time, people are like, oh, Rev, where's your stuff? Where's the link? It's always in my Discord. Like, if you want it, go to the Discord, and it's there. We'll put a link to the spreadsheets, but what I'll also do is I'll just actually put this picture out. I'm sure people would rather have this than the spreadsheet, but eventually in the spreadsheet, what I'll do is I'll add 2-star efficiency scrapping and 4-star as it sits in the game right now, which 4-star is absolutely abysmal. Like, nobody would want to do that. It's very bad. It's quite bad, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry to say it's quite bad. So let's take a look. Now, what this chart will generally show you is that 26s are the most efficient for scrapping for 3-star materials. What I mean by that is you're going to get the most gas, 3-star, or the most uncommon gas, the most uncommon crystal, etc., from doing the 26s. Now, I color coded this a certain way. The colors on the left side of the chart indicate what you're getting. So commons would be white, uncommons are green, and rares are blue. Not getting any epics or anything, so don't worry about that. And then on the right side, on the final part of the chart, what I did is I compared by the different ship types, what's the most efficient with gold, silver, and bronze. There's another factor here that we'll talk about, and there's some handy notes at the top. But essentially, the top row is interceptors, the middle row here is explorers, and then finally our battleship row. So battleship row is going to say that the Bortus has 4 golds in it. Look at all the golds, which would make you think it's the most efficient. And here's what it comes down to. What is it that you're needing to scrap for? When it comes to uncommons, which I would say is the biggest bottleneck for most players, the 26s are most efficient. But if you're scrapping to improve your ships, like say you've got a pylon that you're wanting to work on, or you're trying to get that Coronar up and going and you need more ship parts than uncommons, this is actually where the 28s take over. So if you look at these little lines here where it says ship parts, both common and uncommon, they have most of the gold medals, where they're going to be the most efficient grinders for, well, scrappers when it comes to getting the ship parts that you need. And then you take a peek right over there at the 32s, you'll find they're basically the least uncommon in general. Now here's my overall synopsis here, and you can have this data as well. At the very top, I say that the level 26 ships, for the most part, are the most efficient scrap. The scrap times are low, especially depending on your research, which for me, I'm like at 4 days, and then after I get all the helps, I'll probably be a little bit under 4 days. And then beyond that, you're getting the best conversion for 3-star to 4-star materials in general. 3-star to 4-star materials. They do fall short compared to the level 28 uncommons with rares. Now the 28s have the best ship part returns, which I think is big for a lot of players. And typically, it's not every case, but usually they'll give you the best return for rares. The exception to that is actually the Mayflower. The Mayflower gives better rare returns than the Centurion does, which I found very interesting. So if you're going to scrap explorers, you typically just keep scrapping, except for ship parts, the Mayflower. Now, what you'll also find moving into the rares, and this is where I find them in a dead zone, because they give the worst returns when it comes to, they're not worse returns G3 to G4 compared to the epics, but they don't provide the extra value of time. So they have the worst generalized returns. And then I have a special box over there for the epics. Now the epics, this is really for you high level players. If you are, high 40s or 50s, the only reason to do the epics and to focus on them is for this reason. So number one, you're trying to do leaderboard syncs. I know a lot of my whales out there, what happens is they run out of things they can drop materials on. Well, an epic, you can drop 50,000 uncommon gas in. Obviously, these are raw costs. I'm not, calculating what your research is, or actually you can see over there, 51,000 for an Enterprise. I'm not calculating, any research that you have. These are all raw costs. So it helps you have a mat sync for a leaderboard. And then in terms of time, and see, this is such a big thing for later players in the game is, yes, they want to be efficient, but also they don't want to be eating up a lot of time. And here's the note that I made in the very top right of that one. 3-star epics are the least efficient scrap when it comes to converting 3-star into 4-star. However, they do counter this by being the most time efficient. So an Enterprise takes 3 times longer to scrap than a Mayflower, but brings home almost 5 times the amount of rewards. Now we're in that battle of, okay, what's the right decision for me? Well, it comes down to that keyword efficiency. For you as a player, if you're say level 34, it's not even an option. We're scrapping the 26s. If you're in the 40s, you're still probably going to want to focus on the 26s. As you get up into the 40s, I would say mid 40s, where you really start focusing on those rare ships and you want to get the uncommon parts to those that you can level them up pretty quickly, then you're probably going to start switching over to the 28s. And then last but not least, as a high level player, you really want to focus dumping those extra 3 stars that you have into the epics, because you just don't have the time to scrap everything you need to scrap and get the return that you really want to get from a 26, even a 28. You can still do the 32s, but they're kind of in this weird dead zone. They're not giving a lot of materials, and then they're not really jumping up into a super high efficiency when it comes to the time that you return. Now, I also want to point out that this little calculation right here of mats per hour does not include ship parts. This is simply pointing out materials that you get per hour. So denote the ship parts in terms of what you want to get for it. If you look at the far right, the ship parts aren't terribly different if you're talking about the epics versus the rares. So like my ship parts for the rares, yeah, I mean, I'm getting 187% conversion in commons to 174, but that's not a huge difference. And the ship parts and the uncommons is even better in favor of the epics. So you're getting 19.8 thousand from the Gladius, but then you're getting 33.1K from the D4. You're getting a lot more value for the time that you have to spend scrapping these. So hopefully this chart, and shout out to John, helped put this together, and StewieDoo actually came and helped pretty it up a little bit, because y'all know Stewie, that man. Like the video if y'all appreciate Stewie and his Excel. Who's obsessed with Excel. I hate it, but you know what? I have to respect it when it has uses, and it had uses today. Remember, this is in my Discord, so if you ask me where this is, I'm gonna the Discord. Appreciate y'all. Hopefully this helps you out. Tells you what to scrap, when to scrap it, and what you're getting in return. I'm gonna push you to be scrapping the 26s, but there are definitely situations, as you can see here, where the 28s might be more value, or even the epics. Here's your 3-star to 4-star lesson of the day. There's your Scopely math of the day, all in a pretty chart. Live long and prosper. Stay safe for those Space Cowboys. Deuces, that's me. Catch you on the next one. Hope you enjoyed it. I certainly did.
An even better outro than the intro. For the Empire and glory to your house.